What up, YouTube? So I got a PM, and the PM was a question, and the question pretty much said, how do we get young black boys and girls to become responsible adults? You have to give them responsibility at a younger age. Human beings, we like to be challenged. Okay? We like somebody to say, you need to get this done in this amount of time, and here are your resources. Get it done. It's fun. It's a game. Obviously, as you get more so into your adult world, it becomes less fun. But as a child, you can make it fun for them, or you can stimulate them or challenge them. Okay? So it could be the smallest things, and I'm going to give you a whole bunch of examples in this video. Now, if I have a student who is having issues with behavior or not focusing, and to me, I deem them as somebody who is irresponsible, you know what I do? I give them something to do. So go take this to the office, or I need you to pick this up for me, or, go to this teacher and, pick this document up. And I say, you have X amount of time to get it done. Okay? Or I need it done in this manner. Okay? I'll say, I need them to be organized. I'm not going to tell them how. I said, I want these papers organized. I want you to pick them up. You figure out the best way to do it. And most of the time they respond because they got challenged. Right? And they like to hear the whole idea of, hey, you did a good job. Of course, I'll say, you should have done this or did that. But I'm like, I like what you did. Thank you. So they just got something done. They felt like they got something accomplished. So they understand what it means to have that thrill of actually pursuing something and getting something done and getting the reward. Whether it's, some free time or, maybe a homework pass or just the whole idea of, hey, thanks a lot. You really helped me out. They like it. And for me, honestly, it's pretty meaningful. I think kids can spot bullshit. So I'll give them something that, thank you for doing this. Because if you didn't do it, I would have had to stay at work longer, or, I would have had to miss my lunch. So I really let them know that what you did was meaningful for me. And it really helps. Personally, one thing that I wish my parents did more of is, let's say we wanted to go shopping, back to school shopping. They would give some money to my, older sister, and we would go shop and we would buy what we needed. So we had to do the whole idea of how much does it cost, the whole idea of tax, and we had to figure out how to make it work. Okay? So that was our challenge. That was our mission. Instead of just waiting around for mommy or daddy to pull out the checkbook. Right? Most of the time, there wasn't any ATM card. So it was either you paid with check or, you paid with cash. So they would give us the cash, and we would do what we had to do. Or go to the grocery store. Mom would go to maybe the beauty supply store somewhere, and, we would go to the grocery store and pick up what we had to pick up. So we had to make sure that we remembered, what type of milk do we get? Is it the 2%, skim milk, or what did we get? So you had to remember, did we get white bread or wheat bread? How much did it cost? What's on sale? So we had to bargain and figure out, we had to analyze what was the best buy. And of course it wasn't anything large scale. Okay? It was more so when we had to do the supplemental grocery shopping. So, the parents would do the major grocery shopping on Sunday, but if we needed something during the week, we would do that. So that's what we did, and it kind of grew. Well, once, we were able to start to drive, hey, go to the store and get this and do that. So we got responsibilities, not just, go waste your time, but actual responsibilities that were meaningful to us and just for the family. So we got to experience the thrill, the excitement of having your mini adventure, you doing something. And you either failing and, getting a crack at it another time, or doing well and your parents are congratulating you. It goes a long way. Or you somehow reap the benefits of your hard work and the fact that you were focused. It really is important, and a lot of kids will act like it's not important, but it's really meaningful, especially when they're recognized. Okay, to tell a kid, a young black boy or girl, who doesn't really care, hey, you did a great job, thanks a lot. It's meaningful, and you make that personal connection, and you can hold them accountable, and they want to be held accountable. Oh, give me the opportunity. I can do it for you. They want to be held accountable, but you have to make it meaningful. And they're younger, so it's not like you have to give them some elaborate mission that if they fail, oh, you're in jeopardy. No one is saying that. But if you give them a little bit of trust and let them know, hey, this is very important to me, it works. A lot of kids love Grand Theft Auto, don't they? Right? They love the game. And you know why? The game is nothing more than a collection of mini missions. If you think about it, go kill this guy, or go pick up $100 from the bakery, and they're just mini missions that you have to get done and you have to accomplish. So it's a sense of adventure. Okay, even with the young black men and women and just young people in America who are into gang activity, what happens? They get sent on what? Missions. Oh, your mission is to do this. Go infiltrate them, or go do something this, right? They get missions. They have many jobs that they have to do. Okay? And once again, when you're in middle school, they may be little, maybe go steal something, or, go deliver this to somebody, go drop this backpack off here. And it starts to grow up. So your sense of responsibility, right, increases. And for those of us who are on, I guess, the right side of the fence, right, you can adopt that same principle. Give your child something to do. Give them some tasks that they have to handle. Or if you're just working with young people, give them something. Listen, I need you to do this, deliver this note. And you be real with them. Obviously, of course, you want to monitor what they're doing, but let them know that this is really important. And a lot of them will respond. And if they fail, after a while, they will get it. People like to be challenged, right? No one wants to feel like they can't handle something, that they're incapable. Oh, so you can't handle this? Are you saying that you're not an adult? And they'll get mad and they'll rise to the occasion. Right? So, I know it's kind of weird, but like I said before, my philosophy is kids are a whole lot smarter. Okay? The American society does our young boys and girls a incredible disservice by underestimating how smart they are. In other cultures across the world that are perceived to do better, if you look at their young children, they are given responsibility, important responsibilities. Not some, hey, go buy some bubble gum, but the family needs you to do this well at a young age so they can be responsible. Right? That's the sad thing about it. But in the American society, we babysit. Right? One of my biggest problems with public ed, that I work for, is that from when did they come in? 4 or 5 to 17, 18, they've been babysat. So for a good 12 years, they've been babysat. Then all of a sudden, they get put into a world where they're expected to handle missions, right? Going back to what I said before, those responsibility missions, and they don't know what to do. They're not used to the whole idea of having to get something done, and more importantly, they're not used to the reward or the personal feeling of gratification to know that they can go out in the world and get something done. Right? That feeling of, wow, I just got this done. This really feels good. What's next? Let me try something bigger and better. But they get robbed of that opportunity because we want to babysit them. No. Yes, if it was up to me, I would bump up the working age, right? As soon as a kid turns 12 or 13, let them work. Let them earn some, legit money. Right? Of course you need to monitor it and do it in a controlled environment, but a lot of kids will respond well to it. A lot of the troubled youth, right, especially, and they don't do enough of this in middle schools and high schools, but in a lot of elementary schools, at least the good ones that have, principals or, an administration and teachers that really care, they'll take troubled kids and they'll give them a job. Right? We want you to deliver these papers, or we want you to collect the trash bags, or dump empty out the smaller trash cans into the larger ones. And the kids love it. They love the sense of responsibility. They get to wander around campus, but they have something to do. Right? And people might say, oh, look at what you're doing. No, they're getting responsibility. they're getting responsibility. So, I mean, in closing, just from a personal standpoint, if you are around, younger boys and girls, or people in their preteens or even teenage years, give them responsibility. Let them know, I need you to get this done. I'm not even playing with you. This needs to get done. Right? Of course, you're not going to put them in a life or death situation or some situation where they can, really collapse the family. But you have to let them know that you are important and you need to be able to handle stuff. Right? And they will slowly but surely understand the true benefit of being able to get stuff done. So anyways, you guys take it easy. Take care. God bless.